It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Oh, I can't let this, we cannot let this one go by.
All right.
Donald Trump on Truth Social yesterday. You ready?
Okay, what do you got?
Any state that has built and relied on windmills and solar for power are seeing record-breaking increases in electricity and energy costs. The scam of the century. We will not approve wind or farmer-destroying solar. The days of stupidity are over.
There
it is. The days of stupidity are over.
Good. Let's do more of that.
I like that. I like that. More of that.
More of that, please.
More of that. All right, an update on a story that we brought you yesterday or the day before. I can't remember which one it was. Hang on here. I can't. Okay, I'm going to have to hold this here. Sorry, but Windows 7 is giving me a problem. But I've got the audio cut. We can play it. You and I talked about the Loudoun County Public Schools. Remember a couple of years ago with all the trans stuff?
Yeah.
Here we are again.
Yeah.
Don't they understand how bad this is? How can they continue doing it and thinking that somehow they're winning on this issue? You know, that's the thing that boggles my mind. How they think they're winning.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on here. I'm going to have to reboot it here because I can't control the controls. Okay, now I can. All right. But the Loudoun County Public Schools suspended 2 boys for 10 days for the beginning of the school year because they voiced their discomfort that a girl entered the boys' locker room. And it's just bizarre. They suspended him. From what we were told, it will stay on their permanent record. They must basically write a paper acknowledging the error of their ways. Well, what did you and I say they should do? Call a press conference.
Yep.
Get the free lawyers.
Yep.
Get as much publicity as you can possibly get.
Yep.
Well, they did, and here is the report on it all.
My heart is devastated. The 16-year-olds are now branded for life simply because they spoke up about the truth. His privacy was violated in the locker room. He was secretly videotaped. This is a gross abuse of authority.
After a female student who identifies as male recorded Seth Wolf's son and other boys in a Stonebridge High School locker room expressing their discomfort that she was using the boys' locker room for gym class, LCPS launched a Title IX investigation into 3 boys and found 2 of the boys responsible for sex-based discrimination and sexual harassment. LCPS told the 2 boys on Friday that they will face 10 days of suspension and other consequences.
Loudoun County is
At Wednesday's news conference outside of the school, supporters of the boys held signs, and the boys' attorney said they are partnering with another law group to take legal action.
We were moments away from filing for immediate injunctive relief in federal court to prevent one of the boys from being suspended for the first 2 weeks of school. But last night, we filed a Title IX appeal with LCPS, which thankfully has put a pause on the suspension for now. If LCPS fails again to do the right thing, we will have no choice but to pursue swift legal action in the coming days.
We're going to send them a message again.
There was also a surprise guest at the news conference, Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears.
It is time for the insanity to stop.
It is time for everyone to recognize what is settled truth.
Girls are girls and boys are boys.
I cannot believe that we are here today having to talk about these things that everybody understands as plain common sense.
Earl Sear said schools should focus on teaching kids to learn, not using Title IX against students who don't want to share private spaces with members of the opposite sex.
And as an immigrant to this great country, I cannot believe that this is what we're finding in America. I cannot believe it. And with me as governor, it's not going to continue. I will ensure that I stand with you.
Now, the interesting thing is, this is like deja vu. This is Virginia. She's running for governor. Their election, I think, is this November. It's not next year. It's this November.
Right.
She's running. Yep. What does this remind you of? A few years back.
Yeah.
With Glenn Youngkin.
Right.
It's like the same thing over and over again. I really believe, I really don't, but I really have to believe my conspiracy theory tells me that school board is actually a bunch of MAGA people ensuring that she wins the election in November. Because they can't be this stupid. It brings it right back to the forefront again. Remember, that issue was nationalized. Here we go again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and remember, part of that, too, was parents, because what they, and I think this was one of the roadblocks they tried to throw up. Parents don't have a place in the classroom or the school.
Yes. Right.
You essentially have no place at a meeting, at a school board meeting, and shouldn't be able to air your own grievances about your own children who attend those schools. You would think, all right, they lost that big time, they move on. No. Nope. And here we are all over again. It's not a shock. This is the hill they want to die on. This is a battle that they are all in for.
You know, also interesting, there was a couple of polls yesterday. One that Newsom apparently took in California that shows the majority want to redistrict, and even the Democrats said, well, yeah, but the political poll says the opposite, that they don't want redistricting. They want the independent commission to remain. And the other one, remember we did the polling on crime that showed that blacks are very concerned about the crime rate in Washington, D.C., and whites are not. And there was a poll that came out there, another poll that came out yesterday in Washington that said 80% of the people are against what Trump is doing. And where are we back to now? Now we're back to people, because the other polls didn't have Trump in it.
Right.
So yeah. Trump's not, as soon as you put Trump in, it's actually true. People will go against their opinion that they passionately hold because Trump agrees with you and is trying to solve the problem and is successful in solving the problem, and you don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
Because of Trump. You agree with Trump, but you hate him so much that you don't want him to provide the solution. And you know that Democrats won't do it, but you don't care because your hate leads.
Yep.
And so I thought that was interesting with the two polls yesterday. It's the first thing I thought. I went, well, yeah, but the two latest polls mentioned Trump. This is about, well, what's Trump doing? And, you know, Trump is doing this. And, you know, even the Texas thing is the Trump-led redistricting in Texas.
Yeah. Every story that's on that brings Trump into it.
And, of course, in Washington, it's Trump doing it. So when you just ask about crime, yeah, crime's a major problem. Well, Trump's trying to stop the crime problem and is succeeding in the first week. Crime is down. It doesn't matter. We hate him. He's a fascist, and he's a racist for wanting to help us.
Yep. That's the insanity.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, we're almost to Friday. And think about last Friday. What were we saying last Friday? We're not going to be able... every week we come in going, well, you know, the next week can't be as exciting because they're not going to one-up themselves on what they did this week. And they succeed.
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah.
Now I'm already interested forget about next week. What will they do between today's show and tomorrow's show?
Well, remember in network TV, September used to be the new fall lineup. The new fall lineup of crazy is coming from the Democrats. It's right around the corner. Must see TV.
Oh, God.
And that's, over and over again. And they wonder, you look at the data that shows that the party is hemorrhaging supporters.
Yeah.
And, what can we do? What can we do to there isn't anything that I know of that they can do that is going to be rebranding of the party. They can throw hey, we're not Trump. If the economy isn't doing well, they can say, hey, they're not doing the GOP is screwing up the economy. But I don't even know with that if you look at that and say, well, yeah, but can the Democrats fix the economy? Because that's the big question. When Democrats break it, we already know historically the voter base believe they give greater credibility to the GOP in the ability to fix the economy. Whether it happens or not, that's a different story, but they have that confidence in the GOP. They don't have that confidence in the Democrats. And I don't know where you rebuild a brand for the Democrats because they really don't have a brand outside of crazy, outside of insane. When they're fighting for these kind of things, when they are going to the court level and fighting legally for children to be able to mutilate their own bodies, I don't know how you build a political brand on something like that.
Michael Schellenberger wrote yesterday, remember, not a Trump supporter. Democrats have for the last decade called anyone who disagreed with their agenda of DEI, open borders, climate chaos, transgenderism. They've called them a racist, fascist, climate denier, phobic, etc. Now they're struggling to understand why so many people hate them. Good luck, guys. And then he puts part of an article that was written. He doesn't say where, but this is Tom Bonnier, one of the Democratic Party leading experts on voter registration trends, spent much of 2024 downplaying the seriousness of his party's registration woes. He's now come around. This must be the New York Times article. I was wrong, he said in an interview. Clearly, in retrospect, we can say that the Democratic Party had dug itself in too deep a hole in the preceding 4 years for the Harris campaign to dig itself out in the last few months, added Mr. Bonnier, referring to the 2024 bid by Kamala Harris. He now calls the registration figures a big flashing red alert. Well, the guest on Morning Joe yesterday that we played she said the solution. We need more people like Mandami,
right.
AOC.
We need to be more radical.
The Jasmine Crockett's.
Right.
We need the passion. The old people have to go. We need the new, young, radical communist.
Gavin Newsom's hair is getting grayer and grayer. Oh, sorry, Gavin. You're part of the establishment.
He can put in some blonde highlights, can't he?
I don't know.
Let it grow a little longer. Maybe you could do it. If he grew a little longer, he could get the Spicoli look.
Yeah, a total surfer look. He might.
866-90-RED-EYE.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
A further breakdown of 2022 Census of Agriculture data is now available as USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service released its farm topology report this week.
The farm topology really focuses more on what the farm or farm household would receive from the enterprise, the farm, not just all the receipts that might come from the farm, as value production does. It's another way of looking at it to say what goes back to those households that gain income or gross receipts from a farming operation.
NAS Administrator Joseph Parsons says the focus of the report is family farms as defined in the census, with 95% of U.S. farm operations listed as family farms. Small family farms, those with a gross cash farm income of less than $350,000 annually, constitute 85% of our nation's family farms. The topology report also breaks down data in categories such as commodities produced and demographics of producers. I'm Ron Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, I got the audio cut here that we played earlier, and this may be our audio cut of the day just because it just, with all the insanity yesterday, with the numbers showing that in redistricting, if both sides decide to do it, the Republicans gain seat. With the population shift, we brought you this the other day, with just the population shift alone from blue to red states, another 10 Republican seats by 2030, and there's a difference now of 4.5 million of people moving towards the Republican Party from 2020 to 2024. What's the solution for it? Here's a discussion they have on MSNBC, and they have liberal writer Molly Young-Fast on there who, well, I'll let her tell you what the Democrats need in order to beat the Republicans.
You know, breathing into a paper bag. I'm trying to calm down a little bit, but you know, John just quoted a remarkable stat out of the New York Times that in the 30 states where they track voter registration over the past 4 years, Democrats have lost to Republicans in every single state. Why?
So this is the $24 million question, right? Why are Democrats not, why are the polls bad? Why are they not breaking through? And I think it's a couple things. I think one is the people who are breaking through are brave. Right? They talk like humans. They make the case, you know, and again, it's like Pritzker's chief of staff told me. It's not necessarily left versus center. It's fight versus cave. And the people who fight get support. And the people who cave or are mealy-mouthed or are, you know, very sort of corporatist-y, that crew, the crew that's afraid, cannot break through, does not appeal to voters. The question is, it's only going to be for people who really feel authentic, right?
Sherrod's never been afraid of a shadow.
Exactly.
He's always spoken his mind.
Chris Murphy, Sherrod Brown, Mondami, these people, AOC, they're not all exactly the same politically, but they are the same in the fact that they're brave and they break through.
You know,
brave. That's what the Democratic Party needs. More Chris Murphys, Mondamis, and AOCs, because the Democrats haven't been aggressive enough. That's complete delusion.
They're not.
That's complete.
This is
complete and utter delusion. You suck on the issues.
What you hear is we got to do a hell of a lot more of this.
Yeah,
this radical stuff. It's what they want. It's what they want the party to be.
And that's from BSNBC, soon to be known as BS Now.
That's right.
Because that was pure
BS always.
That was pure BS.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Scarborough, yeah. This is the idiot who said that this is the best Biden there's ever been.
Yeah, and if you can't handle the truth.
Yeah. What kind of drugs? I want to do what they're doing here. Yeah.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Well, in the world of insanity, there's some sanity. The international governing body for the sport of boxing, World Boxing, has announced an end to men beating up women.
Huh?
Revealing that all competitors in the women's category will have to actually be women to ensure that no man is able to compete against a woman and beat the crap out of her. I added those words. That wasn't in the actual article. Following the tragedy at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, in a post on Wednesday on X from World Boxing, they said that the new sex eligibility policy confirms that mandatory sex testing will apply in the female category for World Boxing. The World Boxing president, Boris van der Vorst, said in an announcement attached to the post, World Boxing respects the dignity of all individuals and is key to ensure it is inclusive as possible. No, you're not. Stop it.
What?
No, you're separating as you should.
And it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of what you're doing right now.
Mr. van der Vorst, you can't have it both ways on this one. You're not going to appease the radical transgender movement. Oh, well, he wants to be as inclusive as possible, but he's not going to let men fight women. Well, that's not inclusive. You're not as possible. As possible means discrimination against us. These idiots just don't understand there is no halfway here. God. Yet in the combat sport like boxing, we have a duty to care, to deliver safety and competitiveness, fairness, which are the key principles that have guided the development and creation of this policy. I like Earl Sears the most in Virginia. Boys are boys, girls are girls. End of story. We don't need to go into complicated sentence structure in order to make that known to people.
It's pretty simple.
Listen to this. It has been a long and detailed process, but it is vital that we examine all of the medical... Shut up. You were forced to do it. Otherwise, you'd simply say, sorry, from now on, guys fight guys, girls fight girls. That's it.
Quit trying to appease. You're not going to appease anyone. Yeah. Here are the new rules. Girls only in girls' sports.
Good night.
Drive safely.
Oh, my gosh. You saw that J.D. Vance yesterday told Musk to stay loyal to Trump's Republican Party. Say, hey, stay with us, and we can disagree. Really?
Yeah. Can you?
I mean, now?
Can you really?
You disagree now or back then?
Yeah.
But smart move, and look, smart move for Elon Musk. Really, professionally for him, just endorse a candidate and then.
Yeah, if you even need to do that going forward.
Well, he's going to donate.
Endorse the ideas. Yeah, make your donations, but talk about the ideas that you want to promote, and you have, from what I understand, you have a platform to do it on, and focus on your day job. I'm not saying you're not good at it, but well, Elon Musk, you're a little too immature at times.
Trump, Epstein.
If you can't control that kind of reactionary behavior, then you need to stay out of it.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have fun on X or something when you're making serious allegations that point to serious crimes, or it's implied that it points to serious crimes by a sitting president, and you're the CEO of a company, you've just crossed a huge line.
He said, quote, my advice to Elon would be to try to fix the Republican Party, try to push it in your own way. Disagree with me all you want. Disagree with the president of the United States, but don't pretend that you can make a big difference with the third party. I think Elon would make a much bigger difference if he stayed loyal to the president and the Republican Party, and if he had disagreements, express those disagreements from the inside as opposed from the outside.
Yeah, I guess, from my perspective, and I mean, this is the VP talking, but from my perspective, I don't need him to be loyal. You just have to, my advice, again, for what it's worth, would be don't be so reactionary. And if you're going to get involved, understand there are things you can say and things you can't say. He could disagree with Trump on a number of things and have handled that differently. It's not just about disagreeing. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. So, if you want to be involved, great. If you believe in what the GOP or what the Trump administration is doing, or, eventually if it's going to be the Vance campaign, then great. But don't be reactionary and don't throw things out there, conspiracy theory garbage out there, in an effort simply to derail, and confuse people. That doesn't work for anybody.
This was a huge story yesterday that, unless you looked for it, you didn't know this happened. And it's a huge story because it's a continuation of the president's foreign policy. The U.S. military carried out a raid in northern Syria on Tuesday, killing a senior ISIS figure who had been poised to become the group's next leader in the country, a U.S. official told Fox News.
Yeah.
The key ISIS financial official, a key ISIS financial official was also killed in the operation, noting that both men had been actively planning attacks in Syria and Iraq. No U.S. forces were injured. On the background of a U.S. official to Fox News, the raid was described as a successful operation targeting senior ISIS member assessed to be a strong candidate to assume the role of the ISIS Syria emir, a position that would have posed a direct threat to U.S. and coalition forces, as well as the new Syrian government. No civilians were injured or killed. No injuries to U.S. or coalition forces. Security forces loyal to the interim Syrian government. Oh, I'm sorry. That's something else here. I'm trying to figure out. I haven't been able to find an article of how they did it, though, whether it was a drone or whether it was actually boots on the ground. Special forces that did it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. They probably don't want that to be known at the moment. Otherwise, they would have announced it, as we know. But this is, again, the continuation of the president's foreign policy, which is, I don't want to put boots on the ground. I'll kill the leaders.
Right. Well, and
that's the harsh reality. By the way, if people say, well, that was unprovoked, ISIS is an official enemy of the United States. We're at war with ISIS.
Yes, we are. I mean, it feels like we have to, after Hezbollah and Hamas, we have to go back and remind people who ISIS is.
Yeah, that's a great point.
As an organization.
Or deal with John Kerry, ISIL. And finally, my favorite story of the day. The White House slammed former White Stripes frontman Jack White after he insulted President Donald Trump's new Oval Office decor on Monday. The White House communications director ripped the singer for calling Trump's new gold accented office gaudy and vulgar, stating that Jack White is washed up and a has-been. Jack White is a washed-up, has-been loser, posting drivel on social media because he clearly has ample time on his hands due to his stalled career. He continued, it's apparent he's been masquerading as a real artist because he fails to appreciate and, quite frankly, disrespects the splendor and significance of the Oval Office inside of the People's House. So there you go.
Kind of funny.
Look at how disgusting Trump has transformed the historic White House. It's now a vulgar, gold leaf, and gaudy professional wrestler's dressing room, White began. Can't wait for the UFC match on the front lawn, too. He's almost fully achieved idiocy.
Hey. The UFC match is going to be in the Rose Garden. Get it straight. How dare you?
I just like it because everybody's calling each other's names, but who cares what Jack White has to say?
Yeah.
That, to me, that would evoke a non-response.
Yeah.
Jack White. Who?
Who?
Oh, the guy that had the band and said the drummer was his sister when it was actually his wife. Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah, I remember that from TMZ or whatever.
Which is weird.
I know it
brings up a bunch of fetish questions. You know, I want to know. I've just got questions. Questions. That's all I want. I just need a few things answered there. It's. I don't know why. Again, it's. I don't know.
Were you ever into them?
The Whites?
Yeah.
The White Stripes?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Neither was I.
No.
It didn't do anything for me.
No.
When there was so much hype and hoopla, I went, why?
Yeah.
And again, we don't really debate music.
Yeah, it wasn't my
music,
thing.
It just wasn't, music is personal taste, but
right.
It never. I remember when he was on American Pickers.
Yeah.
He was looking for something. I can't remember what it was, but he was on American Pickers.
After the whole thing came out that it's his wife, Meg is his wife, not his sister.
Yeah.
I thought, well, okay, now I've got an issue. I got some questions for Meg. Because you don't get to choose him being your brother, but you did choose marrying him. So,
apparently she's extremely shy, is what they say.
All right.
But they haven't done anything for years.
No.
It's been almost 15 years. And
yeah.
You really don't hear anything.
He's one of those guys that just pops up in the news and nobody knows why. He really is. And it's like, so-and-so, what are they up to? Well, nothing. But they said, well, who cares what they say?
Yeah, White House, calm down a little bit. These are the things you can ignore.
Yeah, right.
No, we can't let Jack White get away with that. Who?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
And that guy, he's the guy from Whitesnake, right?
Yeah, right. Great White, right?
No. Stripes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
All right.
And then some people go, well, yeah, why was he ever famous?
Yeah, people like different music.
Yeah.
You had Lindy Lee say that, she couldn't even sit on the corner listening to Justin Bieber. So it's
wasn't it Timberlake?
Oh, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Something.
One of the Justins that's part of the oldies.
What's the difference?
Well, one of them used to be a pop star, and the other one used to be a pop star.
Sorry. I'm going to hear it now. Gary, how dare you confuse Justin Bieber for Justin Timberlake? My apologies. I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel terrible about it all day.
Right.
Just terrible.
Oh, remember, Timberlake was accused of cultural appropriation after his Super Bowl performance several years ago.
Oh, I forgot about
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Only the Babylon Bee. And understand this is a Christian parody site. Yeah. Celestial sources report that in response to hearing of President Trump's hopes for getting into heaven, God has agreed to let Trump into his kingdom if he simply repents of his sin and trusts in Christ alone for his salvation. According to the angelic host, the Lord had mercifully declined Trump's wish to have his merits weighed against his faults, instead offering his only begotten son as the spotless sacrifice for Trump's sins. I mean, I couldn't believe that when I was reading it yesterday. But they are a Christian parody site, yes, so they can get away with that.
They can.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.